Hello students, welcome to a new lecture in which we are going to start a new topic called as solid state. In the last class we have finished electrochemistry and now let us move forward to a next topic called as solid state, right? We have three different states of matter called as solid state, solutions and gaseous state, right? Solid state out of all is very easy to understand because we know that solids have definite shape, definite arrangement and it is having its own or sharp melting and boiling points, right? Therefore, let us study what are the properties of solids, and in solids also you are not having all the solids to be same, right? Solids might look same but they are of different arrangements inside. Inside arrangement is different, therefore when you look at the solids they are not all same, right? They might be having different color, they might be having different shape, they might be having different arrangement. That gives the solid its special and unique properties, right? Coming to the speciality of solid or special features of solids. What is the special features of solid? They have strong forces of attraction, strong atomic or ionic or molecular forces. Molecular forces inside it, right? Next, the internuclear distance between two atoms of a solid is shorter. Internuclear distance, they are not far apart from each other. In a small piece of solid you will have so many atoms, right? And that atoms are not far apart from each other, they are very near to each other. That means the internuclear distance, see this is a gas in which one atom is here, other atom is here. What is the internuclear distance? It seems to be very high. Whereas in solids, if you take a small piece of solid, all the atoms are side by side, that means the internuclear distance, between one nucleus to the other nucleus is very short. Internuclear distance is shorter than liquids and gases. Next, the atoms present in the solids are fixed at their positions. Atoms are not, it's not always atoms, so it can be ions or it can be even molecules. So let us write particles inside the solid are having their fixed positions. Inside the solid has fixed positions and they don't oscillate and they don't vibrate, right? At their position or at their mean position they may vibrate, but strong oscillations will not be there in solids, right? Has fixed positions except their mean vibrations. Whenever you give heat energy, they may vibrate at their mean positions, vibrate in such a way that if this is the position they may come here, 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 here. They won't change their position, that is called as mean vibrations, right? That may happen but its position will not change to a larger extent, right? Whereas in liquids and gases their positions will change continuously, that means because they have the ability to flow, their position changes constantly, but whereas solid its position will not change, it's always fixed, right? These are the special features of only solids. And in the solids also not all the solids are same, therefore if you try to categorize all the solids you will get two categories, in which one solid is called as crystalline solid. You have so many types of solids, but if you want to categorize them you get only two types. One is crystalline solid and the other is amorphous solid. Right? Crystalline solid is hard in nature, whereas amorphous solid is softer in nature, right? Crystalline solid is hard. This is soft. Inside the solid, generally we know that atoms are following regular arrangement, or particles are follow orderly arrangement, right? Inside the solid, all the particles, be it atoms, ions or molecules, follow orderly arrangement, right? Some disciplinary arrangement is there inside solid, right? So, but if you compare these two types of solids, in crystalline solid, whatever orderly arrangement is there is existing for longer range, right? So, if you take a piece of solid, orderly arrangement is throughout this such a long piece, right? Long range orderly arrangement is present in this type of solid called as crystalline solid. Whereas in amorphous solid, orderly arrangement will break into smaller. If this is the solid, this is the amorphous solid. Small range order is there in this small box. Again a new set of order is present in this another small box. Again a new set of order is present, right? Though the orderly arrangement is there, but that orderly arrangement is not long range order, right? In crystalline solid, long range order is there, orderly arrangement. But in amorphous solid, short range order is there, right? And it is, we have already seen that crystalline is hard and amorphous is soft, right? If you melt crystalline solid, if you try to melt crystalline solid, it will melt at a very sharp melting point, right? It will not start to melt at some point, then a little bit at some higher temperature, then a little bit at even higher temperature. This range of temperatures will not be there if you try to melt crystalline solid. If they melt, they will melt at a given temperature having sharp value, right? The melting point of crystalline solid is sharp. Melting point is sharp. But if you try to melt amorphous solid, they will start melting at one point, not finally melt. They will just start at one point, then they will melt to a little extent at another point, and then to a little more extent at another point, right? So they are not having fixed melting point, they will have range of melting points. Range of melting point is there, it's not a sharp value, right? And coming to another difference, coming to the another striking feature which is present only in crystalline but not in amorphous, is in the if you try to cut the solid, when you cut a crystalline solid with a sharp edge, you will get a smooth surface. Suppose this is a solid which is crystalline. If you try to cut this piece by a sharp edged tool, you will end up getting a smooth surface at whichever point you cut. But with the same sharp edged tool, if you try to cut amorphous solid, you will not get a smooth surface or a smooth edge when you try to cut amorphous solid. You will get the surface to be rough after cutting. In amorphous solid, you will find that feature which is not present in crystalline solid. Sharp surface will come after cutting. Rough surface will come after cutting, right? These are some of the features present in crystalline solid and not present in amorphous solid, right? Therefore, crystalline solids are known to be pure solids and amorphous solids are not actually solids. They may be looking like solids, but they will melt easily and they are called as pseudo solids, false solids. Pseudo solids are supercooled liquids, because like liquids, as we know that liquids flow, even amorphous solids also flows when you heat it, right? Therefore, they are called as supercooled liquids. When you heat crystalline solid, it will melt but it will not flow, whereas amorphous solid, it flows. Therefore, it is called as supercooled liquid or pseudo solid. It is not actually solid, it is looking like solid. It is a false solid, right? Example of crystalline solid is this duster a crystalline solid? Yes. Crystalline structure of NaCl or crystalline structure of quartz are examples, right? Crystal of NaCl or quartz are example of this. Whereas amorphous solid means which powder? Graphite powder if you take, or alum powder if you take, all of them are amorphous solids, right? They are amorphous solids. These are the features of two types of solids. Let us go to the next topic, but you please copy down the introduction of solid state. In solid state, our interest is not going to be amorphous solid because it is not a true solid. What you are going to study in detail in this chapter of solid state is only crystalline solid, because that is only a true solid is, right? So, in the crystalline solids there are so many type of crystals, but are they all same? No. There is a huge difference between, if you compare one crystal with the other, there will be a huge difference, right? How they look, how will they behave when heated, how will they behave when ground, all that properties are fixed to a different each type of crystal, right? So, let us classify crystalline solids depending on the inside of the crystal and even the outside of the crystal, right? So, these are different types of crystalline solid. Even though it is looking like a crystal, but even the crystals inside are different, right? Thus, that different types of crystalline solids are four. You have crystalline solids to be of molecular solids, or ionic solids, or metallic solids, or covalent solids, right? There are four types of crystals which is a solid, but they have its own features. Coming to the molecular solids, you can get solid by having atoms arranged compactly, or ions arranged compactly, or molecules arranged compactly, right? This is a piece of crystal. Inside this piece of crystal, you may have atoms side by side, right? Or you may have molecules already made. This is molecules, right? So many molecules come together to make a crystal, so many atoms comes together to make a crystal, so many ions may come together to make a crystal, right? Crystal can come not always because of atoms, it can come by molecules combining, or atoms combining, or ions combining, right? So, in the solid, if molecules are associated with each other to make a crystal, it is called as molecular solids, right? And we know that molecules are of different types. Which type of molecules are associated, that type of solid is present in molecular solids also. So, we will see molecular solids again has three different types, right? If molecules in the crystal are non-polar molecules, it is called as non-polar solid. Non-polar molecular solid. If the molecules are having polar nature, it is called as polar molecular solids. If the molecules which are present inside the crystal is not non-polar, is not polar, it is hydrogen bonded. That molecular solid is called as hydrogen bonded molecular solid. But whatever is the type, but in the crystal, who should come together? Molecules should come together, right? Already molecules were made, and so many molecules should come together to make a crystal. Which type of molecules come together? that type of molecular solids we have, right? If the molecules, right, so many molecules we have. Suppose if I take an example of a molecule like hydrogen gas. Is it a molecule? Is hydrogen gas a molecule? Yes, right? Though it is a gas, but for the sake of explaining the molecule, I am taking an example here. Hydrogen gas is a molecule in which same hydrogen atom is connected. Is the bond polar or non-polar? Non-polar. I am taking an example of SO2. Sulfur dioxide is also a gas, it is also a molecule, but is this molecule polar or non-polar? Inside the molecule, two different type of atoms are present having different electronegativities, therefore it is a polar molecule. One has more polarity, other has less polarity, therefore it is a polar molecule. Here both of them have same polarity, therefore the molecule is non-polar. Like such type of molecules who are non-polar in nature, like helium molecule or argon crystal, right? This type of molecules, if they are coming together, helium not alone, right? Argon not alone, okay? But that molecules, if they are coming together to make a crystal, it is called as non-polar solids, molecular solids. The example I can take here is not hydrogen gas, because in the name itself we are telling that to be hydrogen gas, but what we can take is helium, argon or iodine. You know, tincture of iodine is a solid. What does it have? Iodine molecule, right? Iodine molecule has same polarity iodine only in the molecule, therefore it is non-polar solid, right? And the speciality of these non-polar solids is they are held together, right? They are held together by weak dispersion force. Suppose it is a solid, right? Suppose it is a type of non-polar solid. There is iodine molecule, there is iodine molecule, there is iodine molecule, there is iodine molecule. All iodine molecules are there in the crystal. In between these molecules, there is not a covalent bond, there is not an ionic bond, there is only weak dispersion forces or London forces you call, right? Because of that weak dispersion forces, they are getting associated with each other to make a crystal, right? That is the reason why they have no conductivity or conduction capacity will not be there to this solid, and their melting point will be lesser. They are not conductors, they cannot conduct, they are not conductors, and they have low melting point, right? They are not conductors and they are having low melting point. Coming to the other type of molecule called as other type of molecular solid who has polar nature of the bond in the crystal. Molecules are there. It is also formed because of association of molecules only, but the bonding in that molecule is polar bonding. As an example, I have taken sulfur dioxide, right? Sulfur dioxide, yeah, it is a gas, but it can be made solid at certain temperature, right? What is the difference between iodine gas and sulfur dioxide gas, or iodine molecule and this molecule? The bond is polar bond, therefore they are coming together in the crystal, right? This is a crystal, sulfur dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur dioxide, right? So in between the molecules, the forces of attraction is dipole-dipole interaction. They are oppositely charged, right? Therefore dipole-dipole interaction is present in this crystal, which is stronger than non-polar, right? Therefore its melting point will be higher than non-polar. If the forces are strong, you need more energy to break, therefore melting point will be a little higher than this one, right? If here the attraction was weak, so easily it will melt, melting point was low. Here the attraction is dipole-dipole, stronger than the previous one, therefore melting point will be higher than the previous one, right? Melting point will be Not much high, but it is comparatively higher than polar. But it is also not having any conducting nature, right? This is also not a conductor. This is also not a conductor. Coming to the next type of molecular solid called as hydrogen bonded molecular solid. The best example you can take is ice, right? Any molecules in which the molecules are associated together not because of dispersion forces, neither because of dipole-dipole interaction. The pure reason for their association is hydrogen bonding. If I take a piece of ice in which so many water molecules are there, why they are together, why they are held together is because there is a strong hydrogen bonding between one water molecule and the next. Same you can find in HF molecule also, HF solid, right? In between the molecules they are coming together, but what makes them sit together is certain force should be there, right? If the force is weak dispersion force, they are called as non-polar solid. If the force is strong dipole-dipole interaction, they are called as polar solids. And but if the force is hydrogen bonding, that molecules are associated to form hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Example is dry ice, right? Even that is also not a conductor, and they easily melt at certain temperature, right? Temperature melting point will also be, they start to melt at room temperature itself. They start to melt at room temperature. They are also not a conductor, right? All these are having molecules in the crystal. Whether this or this, all of them has molecules inside the crystal. So all the three are called as molecular solids, right? Coming to the next type of solids called as ionic solids. That means if this is a solid, inside it molecules was there, means it was molecular solid. If ions are there, that solid is called as ionic solid. That solid is called as ionic solid. Example is crystal of NaCl, right? Example is a crystal of NaCl. It has its fixed arrangement of ions. Ions are arranged properly at certain points only to give a different arrangement called as unit cell having different shapes, right? So that type of solid is called as ionic solid. Its melting point will be higher than this, and when you try to take it in a solid form, the ions are present in the solid at fixed position only. Will the position of ion change when it is a solid? No, it will not change. So in the solid form, the position of ions don't change, the ions don't move, so therefore it is not a conductor. But when you take that solid, dissolve it in water, what happens? All the ions which was fixed at certain positions only starts to disperse in the solution or dissolve in the solution, right? So each and every ion became individual, and each and every ion tries to flow in the solution or move in the solution. Therefore that solution of this solid can conduct, but the solid form will not conduct. Solid form doesn't conduct electricity. Diluted form or liquid form. Diluted form means by adding water. Liquid form is just fused. Fused form or diluted form is having conductivity. Diluted form has conductivity, but the solid form does not have, because in the solid ions cannot move, they are fixed, but in the liquid form ions are free to move, right? So this is the example of ionic solids. Coming to the metallic solid, if I take a piece of iron rod, in that piece of iron rod, who are arranged side by side? Metal atoms are arranged in a serial order. All the metal atoms are arranged. In ionic solid, all the ions are arranged in the metallic solid, what is arranged is metal atoms are arranged together, right? But when the metal atoms are arranged together, each and every metal donates its electrons, and inside the metal the atoms are surrounded by a sea of electrons. So many electrons are present inside the metal rod, one electron coming from one atom, rich in electrons. That's why metals can be able to conduct, right? So to this metal rod having so many electrons, sea of electrons or ocean of electrons or river of electrons, I mean to say, when you start giving some heat energy, that electrons which are present inside starts to move. So if electrons move, it acts as a very good conductor, right? So metallic solids means if a solid has so many metal atoms arranged together, it becomes metallic solid. It has high melting point, and it has high melting point, and it's a very good conductor, right? Coming to the examples are metal rods of iron or copper or what have you, right? Coming to the next last type of solids, I will take the example and then explain the description of covalent solid. Example is diamond or graphite. Graphite is not purely covalent solid, but you can consider it to be covalent solid. The best example is diamond, in which the molecules are the atoms, sorry, not molecules. If it is a molecule, it should come under molecular solid. In the solid, atoms are arranged together by a strong covalent bond. Diamond has which atoms inside it? Carbon atoms, right? All the carbon atoms are three-dimensionally arranged in the crystal, right, or in the solid, and that carbon atoms has strong covalent bond in a three-dimensional directions, right? In a three-dimensional arrangement, carbon atom has a strong covalent bond with the surrounding carbon atom, right? The bond is very strong. Can you break it so easily? No. To break it, you need very high melting point. That is the speciality of covalent solids, which will not be broken easily because of strong covalent bond. If you want to melt this solid, you should break the bond between two carbon atom, which is very strong, right? Therefore, its melting point will be high. Example is diamond, right? Graphite is not as strong as diamond because it has layered arrangement. And that layer starts to flip. Therefore, it's not that much strong compared to diamond, right? These are the types of crystalline solid. All of them are having crystal structure only, but inside the crystal, if molecules are together, it is called as molecular solid. If ions are together, it is called as ionic solid. If metal atoms are together, it is called as metallic solid. If atoms having covalent bonds are together, it is called as covalent solids. Now, please copy down these categories with examples so that we will move forward in the next class.